What's going on, guys? Judia asked me if I would make a video about how I use Premiere Pro to edit uh, our underwater footage and a documentary we're making. Um, I can't show you the whole documentary, but here's the timeline. It's about almost an hour long now, and there's quite a bit done. Greetings, everyone. I am Justin Carmen. Anyways, you can see it's really complex. Um, I mean, just the audio, the this right here, some special effects.
My first port of entry into the Philippines is here in the capital of Manila. From there, it's a short 1-hour flight to El Nido in northern Palawan.
Anyways, you can see it gets really complicated. So, this is like a years of work, not to mention just the filming on its own. But I will show you one little sequence I could do right now. So, basically I imported this video. It's a little crab. Actually, there's a couple videos that I'll put together to make one short sequence. It'll be about crabs. Sounds kind of weird. But how I did that is I import it into this box. This is how not all people use Premiere Pro the same, but this is how I'm used to it, how I like it set up, arranged. So I got this, I don't know what you call this, but where you put, I have thousands of clips in here now. All these little bins for each, analog, audio, B-roll, El Nido, just so many bins. And then when I double click on my video that I want to clip or edit, it comes up to this workstation. And I can scroll through it and, sometimes, like for Judia's vlogs, I have to cut, and stitch them together, or put each cut in here and stitch them together. But on this one's pretty good. I could just use the entire thing and work with it later. So I put them here in the timeline, and I have to do the same thing for each clip. They're all different. So these are just raw clips, I guess. No audio. They have audio, but I'm not using the audio from this actual clip. So that's how it is. You can see it's shaky, it needs color, it needs commentary, needs music, everything. So that's what I'll do now. You can see it's really shaky, actually. So let's get started. I want to edit each little clip separately. Let's see what they need, though. These are 60. I like to shoot underwater. I don't have a ultra high expensive camera, so I like to shoot underwater about 60 frames per second, because then I can really slow it down and smooth it out, get it more stable. When you smooth it out, or when you slow it down, it really, you can get a lot of the shake out, and it's really hard to remove shake, or it's really hard not to have shake underwater. So I'm just gonna right click on the clip. This one, like I said, I already trimmed it down to what I want. I don't need very long. I'm just gonna right click on it, scroll down here. Computer's being a little slow. And click on speed duration. Like I said, these are about 60 frames per second is what I shot them in. So I'm going to put it down to 30 frames per second, which is about 50% speed. And just to make it a little less choppy, just in case, I'll put it at 55% just to be safe. Now let's watch. Yeah, it's really smooth. Look how smooth that is. I also have stabilizer I could use, but you can't use it at the same time as when slow motion. You have to do one or the other. But if this was really shaky still, I could export this clip. After I put it in slow motion, I could export it, import it back here, put it back on the time, and then stabilize it. But I don't think I need that right here. Alright. So this clip is done. Now I'll go to this clip. It obviously has a lot of shake. I don't think speed duration is gonna fix it. It might a little, but I'm gonna try a warp stabilizer on this one. So I'll go over here. This is my effects panel. Here's all the effects. Here's color, whatever. Like I said, everybody sets theirs up different, but in effects, I'm just gonna search for warp. Here's the warp stabilizer. I'm just gonna drop it right onto my clip. Then I'm gonna come up here to effects control. You see that? I'm gonna make sure I'm clicked onto the right clip, but I'm gonna come up here to, because it's already analyzing. I need to hurry and see where it says smoothest 50%. I'm gonna turn it way down to 5%. You know, this warp stabilizer really distorts it if you do. I mean, when I first started learning this, I was doing like 100%. I don't want any motion. I assume that's what you do, and it was really like freaky. It just ruins it. So 50% even. The top, maybe I'll go to 15% on really bad ones if I want to save it. But 5% usually does really good. So I'll just speed this up, and you guys will see the final whatever. Okay, so it's finally done analyzing the background and stabilizing. This little clip took a little bit, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, because it's a little longer. It's like 30 seconds or so. These clips won't take as long, but I'll have to do them next. So let's check it out. Play. Oh, that's way smoother. Yeah, that's really smooth. It's been a little laggy. This program is massive. This computer is built for editing video. It's got a ton of RAM and memory and everything, but it usually does fine, except for 4K video is a little slow. But I'm also doing screen record on the computer, audio record, a lot of things going on right now, so forgive me if it's a little laggy, but you can see this is a lot smoother. Yeah, that's a great shot. I can work with that. So I'll come over to my next clip. You can see it's still shaky. Go up here, warp stabilizer, drop it on my clip. And I can only do one at a time, by the way. It's got to analyze the background. Come over here, 5%. There we go. This one's not going to take as long, I hope. Yeah, but let's see. Okay, this one's about done. Now it's just gonna stabilize. Just take a second, and then we should be good. We'll check it out, see if it's stable enough. If you warp it too much, it's just not gonna look right. Saving. Alright, it's done now. It should be stabilizing, and we'll see if that 5% was enough. But it wasn't horrible. Sometimes it's hard filming and I can't use a tripod in all situations, so, and there's a current, whatever. Yeah, this is way better. It's a little choppy because of my computer slowing down, but Yeah, so it's way better. As you can see, it's gonna be an awesome clip. So I can put these together now. Boom, boom. Computer's really slowed down. Let's check out. Let's check out this clip. I'll just play it. It's a little shaky. It's not too bad. I could use the warp stabilizer, but it's only 2 seconds. So I would like to speed it. I would like to extend it anyway. So I'm gonna just kind of lower the speed on it, and then I'll get more clip out of it as well. So I'll go down to 55%, and let's check that out. That's really smooth. It's not choppy. Yeah, that's awesome. And like I said, for the documentary, maybe I'll export just this little clip, bring it back in, and then do a warp stabilizer again, and that could smooth it out even more if I need to. Let's check this one out. It's about the same situation. It's way too short. Doesn't need a lot of stabilization. So we'll just go down here. I can't believe how much these programs are. This is my first time using a screen record and the audio record on the laptop at the same time as Premiere, so I didn't know. Premiere doesn't slow my computer down on its own. It's made for it, but everything else is... Alright, so let's just play. That is really smooth. So now we got a timeline for the sequence. All the clips are together. I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna add in a adjustment layer. Not everybody color grades like this, but you can color grade right on the video if you want. But I like to use the I like to use an adjustment layer because I can turn it on and off and see the difference. So I'm going to zoom into this a little. And I'm going to cut these up so that there's a separate... Well, honestly, these two could have been the same. So, yeah, let me undo that. Undo that. So now, let me see. One more undo. So now, this clip and this clip, they'll pretty much have the same color. And this clip and this clip will have the same color. So I'll just cut it there. Alright, to color grade, I'll put it right here. And I'm going to make, just because I want to see more detail, I'm going to make this window bigger. The computer is so slow right now. I'm going to go up here, make sure I click on the adjustment layer, not the video. And I'm going to click on Lumetri Color here on the right. And for my, I like to do one kind of theme for all mine. So you could do presets and LUTs so that the whole thing looks the same. But I find that all my clips are so different that I can't really do it that way. You know, I mean, look at this. This is a sea snake, different background, different lighting. I mean, this is completely different. So, I don't know. I'm spending a lot of time, but I do them each individually. So I got this adjustment layer clicked, and I'm gonna go up to here, and I like to use a lot of blue. I think the color is good on this video, but I think when I add blue, it takes away. It kind of, to me, it looks like it takes away the water. Watch this. You see that? I didn't add a whole lot, but just that. I only raised or lowered the temperature, so I could come down here and I can take away that adjustment layer and look at the difference. Quite a bit of difference. So this is with the color grading, and this is without. So it already looks better. I'm gonna maybe even turn it down a little. I'm not on this one. I don't. Maybe I'll add a tiny bit of purple and see what it looked like. Didn't do a whole lot. I usually don't do a lot of purple. Some clips are really green, and then I might. And the two things I like to do the most is blacks and contrast. So I'm gonna start raising the contrast, and I do it a lot. I raise it quite a bit, and then the black. That looks pretty good. I mean, look at this clip. It doesn't look like there's water at all. This just looks like air. I mean, if all these particles weren't floating around, it looks really good. Then I'll come over here and lower the white. No, raise the white, sorry. Looks pretty decent. The highlights, maybe. Let's just go back and forth a little, see what looks better. Lower the shadows. That looks really good. It kind of goes with the rest of my theme. Dark, ominous, just beautiful. So I'm going to click off and see what it looks like before. That's before. That's after. Before. After. So I think that looks really good, actually. I'm just going to leave it. Let's go to here. I'll go to this squat lobster, pink Harry. I'll do the blue. Lower the temperature. Look at that. Just that little bit. It looks like all the water's been eliminated. Looks great. I'm not even gonna mess with the purple tint. I'll go down here to blacks. Look at that. Added black. Contrast. When the computer's not being laggy, you can see instant change, and it looks. I'm gonna add. It's kind of a lot of white, so not gonna add a lot. Maybe I'll darken the shadows a little. There we go. Maybe the highlights a little, but it's got a lot of white right here in the middle where the light was, I guess. So let's go here. Here's before and after. Yeah, it looks 1,000 times better. I mean, it's just focusing. The background is blurry. The close background is dark, and then the subject is, I don't know, it stands out. It just looks amazing. Look at this. Before, after. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Alright, probably same with this clip. Let's see. Yeah, just so much better. And you could sit here and tweak it. Did I edit this clip yet? No. So I'm gonna click on the adjustment layer, go over here, kind of do the same stuff. Look at that. Just the blue. Let's see the before and after. Just that temperature. Look at that. It just looks like there's no water. Play with the black. Contrast. Maybe some highlights. This one is actually not the same clip. It's blue instead of black. This is a different sea star, so it's not different editing. It's different species. So that looks really cool. That looks really good. I love that shot right there. I mean, I can click this, save it. Now I have a screenshot of that. I don't know why. If you need it, for Facebook or something. It's just a cool screenshot. I focus so much on video that I don't have a lot of photos, so whatever. So I'm noticing this weird thing right here. It must have been too closer to my lights, whatever. So I'm gonna click the video clip. I'm gonna go up to here to effects. Let me make the panel a little bit bigger. And here's the scale. I'm just gonna scale it up a tiny bit. It's being, like I said, it's being choppy. I will move it to the right. Just frame it a little better again. It doesn't always have to be centered like this, but there's so much going on the left that, let's see, go down, there, it's perfect. So now that whole big blinding white spot is gone. Let's see if I need to do that on this one. This one I could do the same. I could scale it up a little bit, make it bigger, but that would get rid of this guy. And then I know he raises his hand and it already goes off the screen. Let's see, let's play. See right there, it goes off the screen. So I really don't want to change this one. So it's fine. Let's go check this clip. This clip is the same. Oops, there. Yeah, it's already kind of going off the screen. You know what? This clip, you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna edit the color separately from the other one. It's not the exact. I'm just gonna lower the highlights, lower the white. It's just too blown out up there on top. It was hard to see the exposure, maybe a little down. Yeah, it looks a little better. Let me see. Wow, it looks way better than with nothing. Anyways, there we go. That is a quick sequence right there. Alright, so now I want to add audio. And I have it ready. It just takes too long to put together. So I put it over here to the side. So you guys don't have to watch me like edit all this. Because I did we went in the sound room and recorded the voiceover. And it looks something like this. One huge clip, basically. I don't know how pros do it. But look at this. It's like a 5-minute clip of me talking just about shrimp. So, this is why I prepared it, so you guys don't have to watch. Because look, I have to zoom in to each little clip.
Can you guess whose tiny arms those are sticking out from inside the feather sea star?
And then I have to, cut here, cut at the beginning, and then drag that on the timeline. So that's how you do it. You guys don't need to watch. It's boring. So once it's on the timeline, I light it up with the clips, So it looks like this.
Can you guess whose tiny arms those are sticking out from inside the feather sea star? If you guessed it's a squat lobster, you'd be right. There are over 900 known species of squat lobster in the world as of now, with possibly many more to be discovered.
Okay. So it sounds okay. If you want to edit... So my advice is if you put it on the timeline, there's a lot of places like this that are... Can you see this? It's not really a lull, but it's where I catch my breath. So let's listen.
Now, with
You hear that?
Now, with
So it's basically you know, you could hear me breathing. That's not that cool. So I'm just gonna get my cutter tool, cut it out. It's a lot easier and more precise if you zoom in. And then I'm gonna go here, select it, and just push the delete key. So now listen.
Of now, with possibly many more.
Oh my god, that's smooth.
Of now, with possibly many.
I'm not, you know, catching my breath.
Of now, with possibly many more to be discussed.
So you got to go through. I won't do it now, but and you could do it in this timeline, but sometimes I find it's just easier to throw it in here and then do it later.
Yeah, is close.
Did you hear that? There's another. So I won't bore you with that now, but I would have to do that eventually. And just you know, is it the right volume? Here's the volume. You can turn it up or down. Just have to edit that real quick. All right. So next, I would like sound effects. So I mean, if you've ever watched Planet Earth or Blue Planet, I mean, those sound effects are not. I mean, you can't hear waves from a drone. You know what I mean? Or splashes or animals making noise. You just can't do it. So they added it later.
If you guess it's a squat lobster, you.
So what I want to do, I'm gonna come over here and I found some sound effects on YouTube. I come over here and just drag it onto my workstation spot. And then it's gonna be the same thing as the voiceover. So this one is just like a basic background sound for underwater. I'm not sure. I don't even know if you guys can hear it. It's just like a low rumble in the background. Possibly you can hear bubbles. It's not too clear. I don't want it to take over. So I'm gonna put it basically probably the whole timeline. Let's be honest. The whole sequence can use this sound. So I'm just gonna set it here. Set it for the whole thing. So let's hear it now.
Can you guess whose tiny arms those are sticking out from inside the feather sea star? If you guessed it's a squat lobster, you'd be right.
So it's a little too prominent for me. I want it to be like something you don't really realize that you're listening to. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna click the effects panel. Instead of warp, I'm gonna look for low pass. It's an audio effect, and here's the low pass. I'm gonna drag it onto my entire clip for the audio. Then I'm gonna come up here to these effects. Click on the so here's the effects, and this cutoff right here. It's almost 1500. I'm gonna put it down to 1000. Let's see what that did.
Can you guess whose tiny arms those are sticking out from inside the feather sea star?
It doesn't sound too muffled, to tell you the truth. Let's go with 500. Look at that.
If you guessed it's a squat lobster, you'd be right. There
Yeah,
are over
now it
900 known species of squat lobster in the
really
world as
muffled
of now, with possibly many more to be discovered.
Yeah, it sounds really muffled. That's good. I'm going to lower down the volume. Right here, you can just lower this bar. Now let's listen.
While researching these guys, I found that the squat lobster is having a bit of an identity crisis. He's called a lobster, but...
That's perfect. I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll do for this demonstration purposes. Alright, now the second one is just a really hard to hear bubble sound. hope you can even hear it. It's really not going to make a lot of difference in this clip with the voiceover, but it's something. And I just want to put it on like certain clips, maybe even the whole thing. I'll just put it on the whole thing, and I'm probably not even gonna muffle it because it's so quiet. Let's see if you can even hear it. Let's just see if we can even hear it because it is really quiet, but you get the idea.
Known species of squat lobster in the world as of now, with possibly many more to be discovered. While researching these guys, I found that the squat lobster is having a bit of an identity crisis.
So yeah, you can hear it with this roaring in the background and then this really quiet bubble sound together. It's pretty good, and there's a lot you could add a lot. Each clip you could add something different, so it's obviously that it's not just one sound for the whole thing. You know, just get creative with it, add a bunch of sounds, whatever.
He's called a lobster, but isn't one. In the sea,
If there's splashes, waves, breathing, whatever. So now I'm almost done. I just want to add my audio, which I also have prepared. Or my music, I should say. Where the hell? I thought I had it prepared. So, I also have the music already prepared for this. So, I'm just gonna throw it on, and I already clipped it as well, or trimmed it, I should say. Because you guys know how to do it. I don't need to show you how to do that. But I just put it here on my timeline on the audio section. Computer's so slow right now. And as you can see, I've lowered down the volume. Let's see what it sounds like to start.
can you guess whose tiny arms those are sticking out from inside the feather sea star? If you guessed it's a squat lobster, you'd be right. There are over...
So it's not too loud. I might even lower it a little bit more, just so you can hear some of the background noise. But in this subject, in this topic or whatever, I don't want it. It'll be kind of boring if there's no music.
900 known species of squat lobster in the world as of now, with possibly many more to be discovered.
So you can get creative with it. That music is pretty low. Oops. But sometimes it's not on some of my sequences. So I'll go here, right there where the voiceover starts. And you can make this zoomed in, I guess you'd call it. Let's put this to the exact beginning where the voiceover starts. I still need to clip that off. I don't know how that happened. And you can keyframe it. Here's the pen tool. You go like this. Doot, doot. You get your pen tool. Lower the volume. And then come up here to the end of your voiceover. Get your pen tool. 2 more keyframes or whatever. There you go. And raise it back up. So this is probably too quiet for the sequence because I've already lowered it so much, but let's see what it sounds like.
Can you guess whose tiny arms those are sticking out from inside the feather sea star? If you guessed it...
So there you go. It gets pretty quiet for the top so that you could hear the audio. And you can just play with it, whatever volume you want, so that maybe you can kind of hear it while you're talking, but not very much. Let's see.
Star sticking out from inside the feather sea star. If you guessed it's...
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's what I would do next. I would go down here and lower the music volume for all these little voiceover sections. And that I'm not gonna bore you with that, but there you have it. I think that's about it. This looks really choppy.
Whose tiny arms those are
because
sticking out from inside.
the computer's so slow right now with this screen record and audio record and Premiere Pro at the same time, but that is it. Guess whose tiny arms those are sticking out from inside the feather sea star? If you guessed it's a squat lobster, you'd be right. There are over 900 known species of squat lobster in the world as of now, with possibly many more to be discovered. While researching these guys, I found that the squat lobster is having a bit of an identity crisis. He's called a lobster, but isn't one. In the seafood industry, he's sold as a shrimp, yet is closely related to a hermit crab, but isn't a true crab either. What is he? Well, I probably leave you with more questions than answers. Just suffice it to say, I am happy to cross a few of these guys from the list. There you have it. Thank you guys for watching if you made it all the way through this, and make sure to subscribe. Bye.